Welcome to 10 Toes Down, Boots on the Ground with Power, coming to you from all worlds. Hi, everybody. I hope you're doing good no matter what world you're in, like we are doing here. Today, we're going to be talking about dating in today's world and society when you're in your 60s. Who will be talking about it and expounding on it will be my guest, who I'm so happy to have with me today. His name is called Blaze, and he is a gentleman, and a fine gentleman, I may add. And he can give us some really good advice on how it is dating in today's world. So let's welcome our guest, Blaze. How you doing, Blaze?
I'm fine, Power. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so glad you asked. Anyway, so I hear you're in New York. That's my hometown where I born and raised at the age of 13. So unfortunately, I can't give much advice about dating in New York at the age of 13. But I actually did date while I was in New York, actually, because I did move from where I was raised at the age of 13. But I did stay in New York until I would say the age of 26 is when I moved out, actually.
Oh,
So,
really?
yeah, 26 is when I moved out of New York. But I did date in New York, and but I didn't date in my 60s. I'm not 60 yet. So anyway, back to you, Blaze, and please tell us what it's like dating in your 60s. Maybe we can start with if you are dating at this moment and, you know, if you plan on dating again, what kind of girl you're looking for. Is it hard to find them? Just open up to us and be honest and have fun, most of all.
Yeah, dating is, it's actually an experience that's good. But it's hard to meet people when you get older because you're not as youthful as you were, so you don't meet as many people. Although a lot of times people go online and they meet, meet people that way.
Mm.
However, in the street, if you say hello to a lady, sometimes they call you about it, they make you respond. But a lot of times they don't. So,
Mhm.
what we used to whistle at girls, when I was younger, or maybe say something for them that, have a nice day, or how are you doing today? A lot of times you don't find people that are so pleasant to respond, especially women, they don't respond so well. So New York is like a lonely place in many ways when you get older.
Okay. Right. Yeah. Well, I would say, are you nervous? Are you, I guess, would we think somebody in their 60s would be nervous going up to somebody and speaking? Sometimes we would think not. Most of the time, I guess you can say, because we figure that you're experienced at that point. You already, been experienced with having no's told to you when you go up to a person. It may turn out where it just doesn't, the person's not really all that nice, or they could say no. So we kind of figure that at that age, and we could be assuming, But we've got to think at that age, you're probably more experienced, with walking up to people because you already know what could or could not happen. So would you say you feel nervous nowadays walking up to women? Is it because you feel like they're more aggressive or they're more standoffish? How do you feel about the women, that you would be, looking at somebody
Well,
that you want to?
it depends on the age too. I mean, like, I'm 60, but I like younger women. So I
Oh,
like in the 40s or 50s.
right.
But sometimes I meet women in the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
I've met, but most women I've met have been like 10 years younger than me. So, but at the same time, I think that, uh, women are open. I mean, they're more, how you say, they're more, they have a lot more experience when it comes to work and doing for themselves. They're not so dependent as they once were many years ago. That's in the 70s or whatever. During the
Mm-hmm.
70s, the family was broken down. I was very young then. And then now, a lot of women lead homes with children, but no father in the home. So
Mm-hmm.
it's there's those things going on. And being, because a lot of time at this age, you're meeting women, like at my age, I meet women with grown children, but some may be young children.
Wow.
So, and, when you meet a woman, a lot of times you have to accept, when you accept a woman, you have to accept the children as well.
Right.
Unless there's neglect going on. And if that's going on, I don't think you really want to be involved in that type of relationship.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, you take a chance, definitely, no matter at what age. Do you think it's better that you meet someone like when you're younger and then you grow up old with them? Or do you think it doesn't matter? Like, you're okay with someone even waiting to really, get with someone, once they're much older? Or do you think you should start out younger? And do you think at this time you would rather have been with somebody right now instead of looking for someone, or it doesn't really matter? Because maybe some people feel like, well, the older you are, the more wiser choices you make, So what's your opinion about that? Do you think it's better to meet someone when you're younger and grow old with them, or it's better when you're older to meet somebody because you know more what you're looking for and the person's older and more mature? What's your
I'm,
opinion
I'm
on?
actually, I'm actually open to both. I
Oh,
mean, when
okay.
I was younger, I met, young ladies, and you know, we had relationships, and I even was open to marriage and so forth, but it didn't work out that way. So who knows what would have happened? People have grown, and they've grown in so many ways. And as you get older, you grow.
Right.
So we could have grown together. I'm in contact with the women I had children with,
Wow.
and
That's great.
having children with them. I'm in contact with them. We
Wow.
have a terrific relationship from when it comes to being friendly and cordial toward each other. We respect one another, and I think it could have grown that way, but it didn't. So
Mm-hmm.
uh, I think when you're a young man, uh, you know, you're more outgoing, and I'm pretty open to other things. And
Okay,
I'm
okay.
open. And,
So you're not like a dull, you're not like a boring person. You're more like an exciting person. Yeah, that people, you like doing things. So you'd be like a good partner of someone that likes to do things. Okay, well, that's good. I think that adds to the relationship for most women.
yeah, I used to act when I was young.
Oh, okay.
And I've done a little singing. I've done Uh, and I went to school and stuff like that. But there were certain, and I met women along the way. But
Mm-hmm.
then there's a certain part that you might miss in life, where I've missed certain parts of my life and so forth. That I had to sit back, and I had missed some parts of my life, and due to the fact that I had missed certain development parts, I'm actually enjoying this part of my life where I'm 60, and I'm enjoying stuff that I never did.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it depends where you meet the person, and it depends on the person's personality and their development.
Okay.
So at the same time, you take it all this into a relationship.
Right.
And at the same time, what when you meet a person, there are expectations
Mm-hmm.
that that person may have. And the other person may have expectations as well. So, when you're meeting a person, you should be looking for certain traits, and ask about those things.
That's important. Yeah. All right. So I guess you're saying, to be honest, to go after what you're looking for, to make sure it's clear, because I guess that comes with maturity, asking
Yes.
questions already up front so you don't get surprises. And I
Right,
believe that
right, right,
comes,
right.
yeah.
And confront that situation, from where it is. Of course, you have to have lean. You have to lean to the left sometime and lean to the right. But that's expected.
Yes, that's right. Compromise.
Yes.
Definitely. All right. Well, I have another question for you, Blaze. Do you think that you or most men your age would prefer dating naturally or don't mind dating online? Like looking for dates at, on dating websites or just going out to parties? Which one you think that most men, by your opinion, would choose? Dating in person or dating online?
I think they would rather in person, but the way that everything's going is on the internet, and a lot of people is used in social media. So I think more people. As a matter of fact, I have a friend that, he's an older man, and he meets his people that he meets, that he's sociable with, in relationships and so forth. He meets online, so
Wow.
I think it's a little harder to meet a person in the street rather than online.
Yeah.
There are more people online.
I mean, that's understandable though, because, it's harder to go up to a person, than it is when you have this screen between you and the person. I think people seem to be more brave when they're not face to face,
That's
because
true. Yes.
yeah. So I get that. I get that. But I can understand what you're saying as far as your friend is concerned, that he likes meeting people more online, because I think that some people are shy and they prefer that way because they can also look and see the person's profile and see if they have anything in common as well before they even, stick their neck out, as you say, right?
Absolutely right.
So I guess in a way,
So, I think expressing who you are. But then again, people can put pictures of themselves. I'm sure you've heard of this. And then, that's not the person that's there, And their conversation, the writing, may say, wow, this is an interesting person. And then you meet them in something else, So it
right.
depends.
Exactly. Yeah. So what about you? I mean, do you feel like you're more comfortable online, maybe speaking to someone, or do you feel more comfortable, even though you're saying it's a little difficult walking up to a person, like, in day to day, trying to meet someone that way, but do you feel more comfortable meeting someone on this, just out on the street or in a public situation, or do you feel more comfortable, for a man of your age, dating online more so?
That's a good question. I think that you have to be involved, right? So, you have to go to meetings, maybe go to school, go to events, and you can meet people that way. That's one way of meeting people. And then social events and stuff like that. But you have to know where these social events are. So a lot of times, like, during the summer, they may have, a health fair. You go to a health fair and you see people there that's interested in their health and their health and their well-being and wellness and stuff.
Right.
So, and you meet people there at that event, Sometimes you look in the paper, there may be some events going on, or you may get some invites to online or something like that. And you go to those events. I'll go to a library. It depends. I mean, you could, if you're going in the street, more than likely, it's going to be harder to meet, women in the street. There's all types of people running the street, unless you're looking for a fast one.
Right.
Yeah,
which you can actually find online these days as well. They seem to make it easy for us with these things. Yeah, online. Just about everything you can find online these days. And it could be delivered to you, and it could be. You just have to phone up and get. Almost everything you can get delivered. It's crazy, but yeah, fast food has a different meaning on that one. So yeah, it's definitely like you can just dial up anything nowadays, and now on a computer you can just find anything nowadays that can be delivered to you. So that's kind of funny.
Right.
But yeah, I think people more in their 60s of your age is more old fashioned. Like you're more looking for just a relationship more so, just a regular relationship. I think.
That's right. And also you want the individual to have something in common with you.
Yes.
So, if you like to go out to plays, you like to go to, concerts, museums, you want people that can, that can relate, and sometimes it's hard. When you get older, it's a little harder to meet people, the caliber that you're looking for. So a lot of times, I would say, if it's a person you growing up with, you could grow with them, and sometimes you can outgrow them too.
Right.
So it depends.
Right. Now, do you think that dating in your 60s in today's world and society is better because you feel that people of the age range that you're looking for is more established, as you kind of stated, or kind of, referred to earlier in the conversation? Do you think it's better because they're more, more established?
Yeah, well, the thing about it is, that's good. That's good in one way, then it can be bad in another way, because you have to be in the places where those people are. So that's the whole thing. Where are those people? Where do they gather, and can you engage with these people? Because and the thing about it is you have to go to events. Like I said, events. Where are those events? And you have to be able to have a conversation, and on the topic that they're talking about, so it depends on your level of education as well, because
right. Mm-hmm.
You just don't talk to people on a daily basis about TV and stuff like that. Some people talk about television, some people don't. Some people talk about the news. Like a lot of times, current events means a lot. It depends. So
Right, right. That's true. Well, I guess you could say, that it varies with each and every person and each and every man in his 60s. It kind of varies. What could you say is some of the similarities that you think men your age run into with dating in today's world? I mean, as far, I'll give an example, like, that the women are more, you find them more independent, where they don't need you in that way, or where they want you to be the first one to make the move, like things like that. What do you see is more common, across the board for men dating in their 60s?
Well, I think, as well as the culture too,
Right.
So, I mean, if you meet woman, you could say a Aboriginal woman, there's different contexts of looking at people of color.
Right.
Right. So if you say, well, that's the type of person you run into, or an Asian person, it depends who you're talking to. Their culture is what is basically what to go by, because they have a certain lifestyle, and they have a certain
right. Their traditions are different. I get it. Like, yeah, their traditions, customs, way of life can be really different, especially at that, right? Especially when they're in their 40s or 50s. The women, they're more kind of set in their ways as well. Yeah, I guess it would be, and I guess that's another challenge that you could look at when you're in your 60s and dating. You have to look at the fact that they're already set in their ways, and kind of already know if they're going to bend in certain areas and not bend in certain areas. And I think when it comes to customs and, different traditions that they're holding on still at the age, still in their 40s and 50s, they most likely are going to want to keep those ways.
Yeah, and and the thing about it is that, you're a lot more lighter, as you get older, you're a lot more lighter, because you basically know where you want to go.
Right.
And you basically, you're in many ways, you might be more aggressive as well.
Okay.
That's women and men.
Right. Mm-hmm. And that could be a good thing. That don't have to be a bad thing. That could be a good thing.
No, it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. Because you have an idea what you want.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And you're not afraid to say what you want.
Right. Or go for it.
Yeah. So, I find that a lot. And
well, would you?
Huh?
Yeah, I was gonna ask. Would you suggest a person dating that's in their 60s, I guess I'd say a young man that's dating in his 60s? Would you suggest that he goes culturally different? Because I know that will add more challenges. But would you say, well, it probably would make things easier if they would date within their own culture, because it takes away some of the extras that could add to the complications in getting to meet someone or getting to have a successful relationship? Or would you say, hey, go for it? Like, no matter what, no matter what the person looks like, no matter what, what nationality, just go for it if you like them.
I think personality,
Okay.
If you have a personality, if you're open, and there are different people, they're from different cultures, from different ethnic backgrounds,
right?
And y'all have an ideal relationship. It might be a friendship, or maybe something that ends up as a friendship and becomes a relationship. But then at the same time, there may be, like, for instance, I met an Asian woman one time, and the Asian woman uh, was more aggressive.
Oh
And
wow.
and I was like, wow, that was different for me because I never expected that.
Right.
But they could be more aggressive.
Right.
And when people just say, well, Aboriginal people are that way.
Hmm.
I'm like, and
Right.
there's other cultures, right? So
Exactly. Yeah, you get to see that's not
so
right. It's not only us.
there's no one
Right.
fit. There's no one fit.
Exactly.
So
Right.
yeah.
So I guess in other words, you're saying you shouldn't have any preconceived notions of how somebody would
Right.
behave just based on their
Right.
their nationality. That you know you so you don't have to think that, oh well, because they're this different nationality, that they're going to be so different, because sometimes
Absolutely.
they can have similar attributes
Right.
and ways of living. So yeah, okay. So I guess you
Yeah.
would give someone the advice to don't really look at that, because
Not,
you could.
right. Absolutely.
Right. All right. Okay. Yeah,
Mhm.
that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. So I want to ask a question about what you think of today's society based on, say, 30 years ago, with how things are right now and how far they've gotten. Like, you could go out and most of the time you see people on their phones, right? 30 years ago you wouldn't see that. So we know that
Right.
technology has really taken a serious hold on, everything, you know,
Absolutely.
in every area of life. Back in the day, if you wanted to cook something or know how to cook something, you had to open up a book, right? Or ask your grandma or your mom or your dad how to make this thing. Now you just pull up a computer and, pull it up and see how to do it, right?
Right.
Dating, you had to go
Now.
out, right? Yes, go on.
Hmm. Yeah. I think technology has changed a lot of things, and a lot of people my age, some people, I wouldn't say a lot, but some people are not technical,
Right,
and
yeah.
they're not so computer aware of
Yes, that's true.
technology itself, and it may be hard to, you know, show a person how to, you know, maneuver a computer if you're trying to reach them on a phone and you want to do Zoom or you want to do uh, how you say
Like video
some
chat or
kind of
something.
video chat, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
If you want to do something like that, and when that happens, you know, you could try to show the person, but they may not pick up.
Right. I gotta tell you a funny story about my mom.
Mm.
I miss her and love her so much. She's still my best friend, but she was my best friend in life. When she was living as well. But no matter how many times you showed her how to work her cell phone, she'll always like come to you again and like, how do you do this? And you're like, we just showed you how
Right.
to do it. So it was like, she just wasn't getting it. I don't know if it was by choice. She just didn't want to, because I don't think everybody wants to accept technology. I really don't. I don't think everybody's okay with it. Some people like
No.
the way things were, they like the way
Right.
they're doing things. They don't want to change. They don't want to adapt, computers into their daily lives, which I respect and understand. I get that, you know.
Right. Right.
So yeah, so I get it. Where yes, you're an older person, it is a little bit difficult for you to grasp it, and it can be by choice, and then again, it could maybe not. Maybe it's just
Right. Yeah. I think you have to be open to more adventure. Like you start the adventure, you start to see things, you start to explore, and
right,
you know, and a lot of people that you know older are not willing to do all that. So
right.
it depends. That's why I said that. Now that I've you know at this age right now, I'm enjoying some of the better parts of life.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah.
when I was younger, I didn't enjoy all the better parts. So there are certain things that I guess some people catch on when they're younger,
Mm-hmm.
Some people catch on when they're older, and
Yeah.
some people regress, and some people make progress.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, do you feel like you have more patience now since you're older, like for like someone you're dating or someone you want to be serious with? Do you find yourself having more patience with them as far as saying, well, I know they're not where I want them to be right now, but maybe they will, so I'm going to wait? Or do you feel like, nah, if they're not where you where you want them to be, you figure that, nah,
That's
I don't
funny.
think they're going to
That's
get
funny.
there. So,
That's funny because you know, uh, you know, um, you meet people where they are, right? But you want them to grow with you.
right.
A lot of times you have to teach them. You have to learn them, and they have to learn you. And then a lot of times you don't want to have to, teach somebody. You want somebody to be on the same level. But and that's where the difficulty comes in because you know some people are willing to grow and some people aren't. And it's a challenge for a man my age because you know, especially Aboriginal man, he you know he may not meet you know, especially living in I live in Harlem.
Wow.
There's all
Yeah.
types of people here. You know,
Wow.
so there's
Mm-hmm.
different types of people and it's there's intermingling, there's gentrification, there's a lot of stuff going on.
Right.
So
But
you know,
that opens up more choices for you too. If you're into that. Like if you're, there's no barriers. You put up no
no, no,
barriers.
no, no. As a matter of fact, in the society today, that's the way it is. I think in all the states, as a matter of fact,
Right.
other states as well, they're doing these things that's happening here in New York as well.
Right.
So I think and it's where you are, where you go, and you know, just being a 6-year-old man that's African American or black or
Mm-hmm.
Aboriginal,
Right.
being in this situation, uh, you looked at from a certain perspective.
It makes it a little
And
more difficult, I guess, because and
absolutely,
I think that what you're going through already, that's kind of like, a part of you because you've experienced those things and you are where you are because of experiences. But then you also have to have the person that you're dating understand that, right? I think that's important as well, to
right,
understand your challenges.
and being honest,
Right.
being
Mm-hmm.
honest, because talking with people and exposing yourself, and some people do that slowly, some people do it right away,
Right.
and is it gonna work either way? You know, but I think, and some people don't do it at all. You find things in the closet later on.
Right. Yeah, and I believe that honesty is the best policy. I really do. I really
Yeah,
do. I don't. It doesn't even matter what it is. You can still respect the person because of their honesty. You know. So like
right.
like I think that relationships where a person has went out and cheated, and then they came back and told the person before the person actually found out. I think that it just is so much better than the person finding out. I mean, it could be heartbreak, of course, either way, but I think the heartbreak is harder to get over when you actually are
I,
told by somebody else, like a stranger, or you find out about it, than if somebody actually
yeah.
was honest with you right up front.
Well, first of all, that's another. One of the things is that you know that in this society is it's a paternalistic society,
Mm.
right? And the Aboriginals or Africans or black men, all people of color, they were maternalistic societies.
Right. Yeah, that's where I come from. The maternal. We had a matriarch system.
Right.
Yeah, back in the
So,
day.
we have to look at those customs because that's the culture of the people. And
Right.
that's basically, that's why we have these two different, you might say in this society, but we have a divided society because, you go in one area, it's another thing, it's another. Now it's mixed, they're doing
Yes.
gentrification. But I don't know if they, what's going on because, they could be pushing out or whatever. But these individuals, these ethnic backgrounds and so forth, they have these maternalistic ways and adapting to a paternalistic.
Mm.
So the thing is knowing your culture and knowing where you're from. And that's where the situation becomes difficult because a lot of men end up going with other women
Mm-hmm.
outside their marriage and, stuff like that. Especially Aboriginal people or people of color.
Right. Right.
So, and then we try to live
Yeah. Matriarchal. Matriarchal.
Yeah, matriarchal.
Right. Or maternal. Because I know with the.
Maternal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we try to live a one wife, per family, and you have your
Right.
family with that one wife. But a lot of times the men go outside the family, and this went on for years and years and years and years until today. And this is what's going on. So a lot of people are not getting married, and they're just doing
Oh, yeah.
hopping from place to place to place.
Right.
But and that has a lot to do with some of society.
Right.
So these laws applied to people of color?
Mm-hmm.
Is it applied to the Asians or what have you?
Right.
People, other than people of color.
Right.
And so you have to look at that.
We're just like all mixed up, is what you're trying to say. we're like it's like a melting pot. I get it. It's like a melting pot here. We have so many different variations.
But what's so funny about it is you go to another state, like I think it's Utah. You can marry more than one woman.
Oh, okay.
Right? So there's certain places that you could do that in the United States, but not all over the United States. So it depends,
Right. Well, I think that if we're talking about dating, just trying to date, I guess it would complicate things more if we're talking about multiple partners. And I guess that would be a different topic for a different day. And that's very interesting. I would love to do that topic for sure. Yeah. But okay, do you feel that because of all these different cultures that's here for people that's in their 60s and all the things that they've gone through already, in their lifetime and being set in their ways and all that, do you think it's even advisable to even try to entertain, a person that you see is from a totally, really different type of culture? Or would you say that, to go ahead and be daring and just go ahead? Like if you see someone in what they call, when you see them with the long dress on and the head covered, everything covered. I guess like the Muslims do. But, we also get that culture from the East, coming over as well. Would you suggest that a man in his 60s, 60 and up, actually, if they see the person as attractive, should they go that direction? Because that would be truly a total different culture, if they're...
the thing is, are you willing... because if a woman's a Muslim, if I don't know about Hindus and so forth, but I know that if you're a Muslim, you could marry another uh, a Christian, or you could marry a Jew, right? But you can't marry a non-believer.
Oh wow.
So basically, I mean that that is
That's
possible.
interesting. Yeah.
So but when it comes to mini guards and stuff like that, they don't allow that. So it depends. You
Okay.
don't have to make a believer out of that person.
So I
I
guess
mean, if you're religious,
what
But
you're saying is that it's up to you wouldn't suggest a person go for it, but you wouldn't suggest them not go for it. You know.
but I wouldn't suggest. Right, I would suggest you. Well, I like me myself. I stay within my own culture, basically.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Okay, that's what I do.
All right.
But some people go outside their culture. It depends. And
Okay.
I went outside my culture.
Mm.
And I prefer to stay within my culture because that's who I am.
Right. Right.
So
Yeah. And I guess you're saying, like, when you're dating, it's so many other aspects to life. You don't want your dating, aspect to be so complicated, because you have so many other areas of your life that you need to focus on as well. And we know that dating takes time and, it takes a lot of energy. You can't just date and don't put any energy into it. And you also have to be able to bounce back when things happen. If you prefer to do so, or you have to, try to make a decision on which way you want to go. So you don't want
to. Yeah, because love is real. A person could run into a person, and they fall in love. Just like that.
Wow.
I've known people that fall around and marry other cultures and stuff, and they may do fine, but then you have people that go to other cultures, and when they split up, they don't know how to act. They can't function. They can't without that person, and they gotta have that person. So that's where you don't know what type of person you run into or who you're dating. When you go outside your culture, it may be more violent. They may not be violent. So it depends.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. So do you feel like men in their 60s should look for somebody to settle down with? Or do you feel like a man in his 60s should have the choice to in today's world and society, go after multiple women? Or do you think he should just go after one, just look for a good relationship with one person?
I think to look for a one woman, but date, looking for that one woman. Don't just stop dating,
Right.
date.
Right.
And then when you meet that woman, go out and be cordial, ask that person questions, where you want to be in the next 5 years? Where do you want to live? What type of places would you like to go? Do you like to travel? Do you like to, because at this age, it's where you enjoy life. So you want to know, when you retire, what do you want to do? Certain things. You want to make sure that, to have a home. What are you going to do? Are you going to stay in New York? Are you going to move down south? Do you have, what's your aspirations? What are the things that you would like to do? Would you like to continue working? One of the things is that, what I noticed is that I'm active, but I'm not as active as I was when I was in my 20s and 30s.
Right.
Or even 40s,
Right.
But I'm active.
Right. Well,
I'm alive.
yeah, right, okay, and that's a good thing. And I think that
Right.
also, I think
Yeah.
also, the older you get, the more you realize what's important and what's not important. Experiences that
Right.
you have that makes it easier, because now you know better. So I think with
Right.
with age comes freedom as well, and comes more enjoyment because you actually can really have safe fun. Because I think growing up, we get into situations that can be really could get us in trouble because we don't know any better, right? Or we
Right.
can not know which way to go, because we've never been in that experience. But I think with
Right.
age, yes, I think that with age, comes wisdom, and you're
Wisdom.
able
Right.
to relax and enjoy life more because you understand it more.
Right. Right.
Yeah, so
And I don't. I might go to the store, but I live right here in the city.
yeah,
But at
yeah,
the same time, I'm not hanging out 12 and 10 after 10 and 11. I'm in the house.
right, yeah,
If I don't have to go out, I'm not going anywhere.
right,
So, but during the day, I'll take a walk, 20
right,
blocks, or what have you, I'll go to work, but yeah, at this stage of the game, it's just enjoying life, like you said, like enjoy and experience, and give it to the youth,
yeah,
and recognize the youth and
right,
talk with the youth and,
yes,
and stuff like that. And that
right,
gives you life as well.
yes, that's true, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think, you know, with your age and your wisdom, do you feel like, now that you are, more settled, that you're looking for someone that I guess you could say it's in particular to what you want, so it could cut out a lot of drama? So what I'm asking is, do you feel like it's better to, I guess, put down exactly what you're looking for and not really bend from that so much because you already understand the
Well,
complications that go forth
it's
from
very,
that?
I would, if I could run to the right person. I'm not married, so, uh, you know, um, you had married him, it would be nice, right? I don't want
Okay.
to be lonely,
All right.
but
Well, here we go. There's a plug right there. We got we got a minute for a plug because I do have to start closing out, but we have a minute for a plug. So go on and tell, say you're telling the women out there, that could be great for you, what you're looking for, what you're looking for.
I'm an open individual. I mean, you know, I like a person
Oh, I thought you were gonna say like
that
that song. I like big butts, and I don't know how. But go ahead. Oh, but go on.
I mean, I like a nice woman,
Okay.
well put together, put herself together. A smart woman, intelligent woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of turns me on because, if you're intelligent, it turns me on, right? And a pretty
Mm-hmm.
woman, we
Mm-hmm.
have to be on it. You have to be at least. It just helps a whole lot,
Right. Yeah.
along with beauty.
Right.
But but beauty's in the eye of the beholder, So it's like I'm just looking at enjoying life, and if I meet the right woman, I'm here. I'm
Right.
open, and
Okay.
that's gonna
So,
be good. Yeah.
so what I got from that is like you like pretty, well put together woman that's smart. Now, what do you say that you have to offer? Because
Well,
you
I
have to put that on there
have
too. Because a woman can't only be like, okay, I fit that. She wants to know what you're about, what she's going to get.
actually, I work. I'm going for a master's degree, and
Wow! Congratulations.
and I got about a year to go with that.
Mm-hmm.
Year and a half, and I like to travel and nice things. I carry myself, and I like keeping myself in shape. But so and I'm a Muslim, so
Okay.
that's
Okay.
basically.
Wow. That's okay. Okay. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I mean, it doesn't seem like anything really that's going on that a woman would have to deal with that would be a unfavorable thing about you. You seem like you're doing it. You got some good traits there. So, ladies, if he sounds like someone you would love to meet, uh, you know, put a comment. Put a comment. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Your number. and we'll de- and we'll definitely get you in touch with him and see where it goes from there. You know. But anyway, it's really been a pleasure, and I would like to say that I would love to have you back again to talk about something else, to talk about another topic, maybe about the I don't know if you know much about that, but we could talk about the multiple relationships that you had mentioned earlier. So it's really been a pleasure, and I really hope
Good to
that
have
you find someone that is perfect for you, and I know you will.
mental
Like you,
power.
yes, and like you said, you got to compromise at times, but you got to know where, right? Where to actually compromise, and where not to
Yes, you do have to
compromise,
compromise,
right?
and we have to meet people where they are. You can't change people.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it probably gets harder the older the person gets. It seems like, if
Yeah.
they're more set in their ways, and that could be a good thing sometimes, and sometimes not. It just depends because sometimes you can be set in a way that's not all. That maybe you're set in a way where you don't want the woman to go anywhere. She just got to stay home all the time, but she likes to go out. You see what I'm saying? So that could be she likes to go out sometimes, but you just love being home. So, yeah. So some set in ways can be a hinder. And then some set in ways where you just love to make the woman happy, like to buy her flowers, you like to take her out, you just love to make her happy and you're set in that way, so that can be an asset. So, I believe that it's very important to
I
compromise.
like those things. Yeah, I
Yes.
like treating a woman like a woman.
And that's beautiful. That is beautiful. We need
Yeah.
more men. We need more men like you of all ages. Of all ages. I mean, I'm up in my 50s. I'll be 60 next year. So, and
Well,
I could definitely say it's very
well,
important.
God bless you.
Well, thank you. I and my mother, she passed away at 92 and a half. So, wow, I would
I'm
love to
sorry.
live to be that. Well, I would love to live to be that, that age. But
Wow.
yeah, so I think it's very important about honesty, that people that's important in every relationship.
Yeah.
And I think with age, like you said, comes wisdom. And you realize, if you aged in the right way, and you learn throughout the years, you know that honesty is important. So I think that can't be beat. And, that's one of the very important traits, I would think, for moving forward in a relationship. And I believe that, men, from what you've said and what you've spoken about in this conversation, that men in their 60s, are actually looking for a relationship, and they're wise, because they learned a lot of things. And they're not really looking for the perfect person. It seems as though, they're adapting to the times, but they want to be understood. You know, I can't say you speak
Right.
for every man that's in his 60s, but I believe you speak for a lot of men, in their 60s and dating out
I
here.
believe so.
If they're
Yes.
single, yeah, definitely. I believe so, you know, and, I really appreciate your honesty in this conversation, and I really respect your opinion. And I'm sure that people that will be listening, will get something out of it. Sure they get something out of this conversation and have a more wider understanding of what, men in their 60s is going through, in this world today, you know. And we are all from all different kinds of worlds, out there. And, trying to bring our worlds together, in one way or the
Yes.
other. So when you can find
Well,
someone else that could bring their world together with yours in harmony, that's beautiful, you know. It's beautiful,
Absolutely, right.
And I think I
Especially during the holidays, right?
yes, I
Yeah.
know.
So,
Yeah.
this could be a lonely time for people
Yes,
as
that's
if,
true.
you have to get out and, try to socialize,
Right. Yeah, because it's just
with
December.
family and
So,
others.
right.
Hmm.
Yes. Well, I believe that, there's no right or wrong person for somebody. I think if they're compatible, then that's for them. That
Right.
person is for them. And I think it's very important to take your time, like you said. Don't rush into anything. Don't feel desperate. So I believe that you have given some really, really good advice, you know. For
Thank
men
you.
in their 60s, you're welcome. For men in their 60s and for men in general, really, you know. And you give us hope. From a woman's point of view, I say you give us hope in men. With your perspective on
Oh,
relationships.
thank you.
You
Yeah,
know,
because, I think we have to work together as
right?
most of
That's
all,
right.
and, be open, be like, have a perspective, allow a person to have their perspective, and you meet them in the middle, you know,
Right.
and hear them out. And they hear you out, That's what helps in a relationship.
All right. So closing out, what would be your advice to men in their 60s?
Don't rush it.
Right. That's right. Wow. That's good. And now, what would you suggest to men, that's younger than 60, from like 59 to 18? What would be 5 things you would suggest would be of importance in choosing someone in today's world and society?
Well, one thing is that, always be aware that people are watching,
Mm,
you know, and that you don't live in the world alone, so don't be selfish. Uh, and always keep honesty is very important, and keep an open heart. Don't think that you have to be the toughest guy, but you don't have to be the weakest guy neither. So don't be weak neither.
right.
And state your point, but always, there's other objectives. So if there's other objectives, sometimes you have to, like we said earlier, you have to work things out together.
Right.
So
Right.
well, that's my main point, really.
That's
And be yourself. Be yourself.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Yeah, that's beautiful. Well, thank you, Blaze, again for joining me and for your beautiful, outspoken words of advice, of humility and of truth. I really appreciate it. So, everybody, thanks for listening. And always remember, if a rock gets in your way, start to chisel. And if you see a cutie, put on the drizzle. And keep your head on a swivel. Keeping it real, on 10 toes down, boots on the ground. Sending love from my world to yours. Laters.